To me, there are few films as charming as Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The loyalty to the source material, the dark yet intriguing style, Wait, hold on a second. These clips are from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, not Charlie. What gives? None of what I just said applies to that version at all. I know what you're thinking. What I just said is cinematic heresy. But I've been wanting to say this for a long time. I'm so sick of the fact that anytime I bring this movie up, people always say something like, that one isn't as good as the original, or that's such a terrible remake of a classic and beloved film. These statements could not be more wrong. I'm here today to show you that despite common consensus, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is the superior movie.
Candyman.
Willy Wonka. Willy Wonka. He's a chocolatier. Willy Wonka. Willy Wonka. What a drag.
It reminded me, that scene reminded me of the Welcome to Duloc scene from Shrek.
Yes, but that version is much better.
Yeah, and I don't even like Shrek.
You don't like Shrek?
Not really. It was the first DVD I ever owned.
You didn't like it?
It was gifted to me. No, I
Donkey.
Never,
You don't like when he says donkey?
I like when he says donkey.
What about when he says, I'm an ogre?
Yeah, I like when he says, get out of my swamp.
What about when he says,
Princess Fiona, swing.
Fiona, do I make you horny?
Yeah.
Excuse me, sorry.
I've changed my mind. I do like Shrek.
All right. Well, I'm glad we're doing Shrek today.
Strike that from the record. I love Shrek. Shrek is love. Shrek is life.
Excellent. Good to know. Well, thank you for listening to the franchisees. We're back. We are doing Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Tim Burton's 2005 movie, new adaptation of Roald Dahl's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, beloved children's book by many. Not me, but many.
And because it's called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and not Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, it is, of course, closer to the source material. Yes. Kind of. I saw people saying that in reviews, like, sure, it's not this, that, or the other. Sure, it's inferior in most aspects, but it's more true to the source material, as if that, like, kind of even remotely matters.
Yeah. It's funny. People talk about that, about adaptations of books, like, a lot, right? And it's like, oh, is it true to the source material? Is it true to the source material?
What if the source material sucks?
Yeah, and some, like, I understand if you're coming at it from the perspective of a fan of the book first. You
Sure.
want when you want, and I think also people who aren't like movie people first and foremost, right? When they go see an adaptation, they're comparing it to the thing that they love, and it will never really hold up in the same way as it did in their imaginations and so on, with some rare exceptions, I guess. But for me, as someone who can't read, someone who literally can't read,
functionally illiterate,
it's actually great to I'm just going blank slate, tabula rasa into these movies.
Yeah.
And that's the way to do it. To approach every film with wide open eyes and an open heart, like a child would, you know?
That's kind of beautiful.
Yeah. And I predict, or not predict, I imagine that children back in 2005 approaching this film with an open mind would have been terrified.
But not for the right reasons.
Not in the good way.
Yeah.
Like they would have been back in 1971
Yeah.
when kids were a little tougher.
Like we were saying, kids' movies weren't afraid to be terrifying.
Well, I don't think this movie is afraid of being terrifying.
I don't know what this movie...
I don't know what it's about. I don't know what, like, I can see what would have drawn Tim Burton to it. Sure. Because it really fit. And this is an interesting part of his career. And maybe we can talk about that first, but like, are you a big Tim Burton fan?
No.
Not really?
Not really. No? I like, some of his 90s stuff.
Well, I was about to say.
The gothy stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on. I agree with you.
Now, I wouldn't say I'm a big Tim Burton fan either, but that's because of where his career went around this time.
Yeah, exactly.
If you go back, like, okay, this is his run of films from his first film, Pee-wee's Big Adventure,
which is a great movie.
in 1985. It's an amazing movie.
Yeah.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Beetlejuice, Batman, Edward Scissorhands, Batman Returns, and Ed Wood.
Yeah.
Is amazing.
Where's
and
Mars Attacks?
Mars Attacks right
Yeah,
after that. I would also include that in the run. Mars Attacks scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was terrified.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah, no, not for me. I was extremely upset.
By like the floating severed heads.
Just by all of it.
Fair
just
enough.
by how nasty they were. You know, and if you go back and look at the actual like Topps trading cards, like Mars Attacks cards, they're like really violent. And yeah. And then he does Sleepy Hollow, which is okay. I don't know, I haven't seen it in ages. Planet of the Apes. Okay, this may be the first sign of some serious trouble. 2001 Planet of the Apes. Whenever we do the Planet of the Apes franchise, which would be a very long series because there's all the old movies, there's the kind of, you know, wretched Tim Burton one, and then there's a whole bunch of new ones. You know, I'm sure we're going to talk about it, but that movie, like 2001, right, is primo like Ben going to the theater or renting like random things from Blockbuster because I'm like 10 or 11 years old, and you just kind of, you don't really have like a discerning eye, you just kind of see whatever. And I remember in Saskatoon, in a theater that no longer exists, which is the same theater I've brought up before that no longer exists, seeing the promotional like standee poster for Planet of the Apes. It didn't have the title on it. All it had was the side profile of like one of the general apes with like the big like kind of shell like helmet.
Cool looking helmet.
Yeah, I remember seeing that and being like, what is that? That is the craziest thing I've ever, like, what's going on?
I remember seeing the trailer before something when I was young and being like, whoa,
Holy
this movie,
shit.
looks like fucking crazy and intense.
And I remember watching it and being like, oh, okay, this is weird. I feel weird about it. You know, I didn't see the original until like way later.
I think I'd seen the original.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have some fun when we watch that one, I'm sure. But just bizarre movie. And then he makes Big Fish 2003, which I know is a lot of fans and so on. It's very a little sappy and so on, but I'm sure looking back on that, there's probably a lot to like there.
They say time stands still when you fall in love.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of like Forrest Gump.
I can attest that it does.
And then 2005, he's got a big year. He makes Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Corpse Bride. Corpse Bride I've never seen.
Me neither.
And then 2007, Sweeney Todd, which I remember being really into because like we were musical theater kids at the time, you know, and I like Sweeney Todd, the play or the musical, and I remember enjoying that. But then we're getting into then it's like Alice in Wonderland, and then from then on he's gone basically, right? Because it's like Dark Shadows, whatever, Big Eyes, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, fucking Dumbo, and all that shit.
Right.
I haven't seen any of that shit after that. I Alice in Wonderland.
I hated that movie.
I never finished it.
It's so bad.
I avoided it. It looked awful. I really like Alice in Wonderland. I like the book a lot, and I like the original Disney movie quite a bit as far as those things go. And I remember just being like, this looks really bad. I think we were all having Johnny Depp fatigue around that point, before Joni Dripp, Joni Dripp fatigue before the mega Joni Dripp fatigue that we all have now, which is unescapable. If you're a Joni Dripp fan in the year 2023, look at yourself in the mirror. Come on, do better. You can do better. There are better quirky actors we can enjoy.
Be a fan of Lily Rose Dripp.
Yeah, such as star of the Idol, Lily Rose Dripp.
Great show.
I'm gonna fucking fuck that pussy. What does he say? What does the Weeknd say?
I forget, but there's a scene where he's intimidating a guy and he's like, "Let me catch you looking at her again. Let me catch you looking at her again." And he's kind of like baring his teeth.
I gotta watch that.
It's funny.
I gotta watch that. I gotta fucking rev up that fucking little pussy. He's just creepy. It's just creepy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, whatever. Anyway, all that shit. Alice in Wonderland. I avoided watching it. I remember I watched it on a plane and I pressed play And I think I made it 20 minutes in, and then I decided, you know what? I would rather not watch this movie.
I'm gonna watch the map.
I would rather, yeah. I said, I'm not even going to switch movies. I would just rather sit in silence, staring at the back seat of the plane, like Elaine's boyfriend Putty. And there's one episode where they're on a flight, and he just sits there doing nothing, and she's like can't stand that he can just sit there doing nothing.
Yeah.
So I protected my peace, as they say, and I turned it off, and I said, I'm not going to watch this bullshit. It's annoying. I'm just going to sit here. I'm just going to close my eyes for 2 hours, and that's what I did.
And it also turns Alice in Wonderland into like a fantasy epic, like Lord of the Rings-esque kind of.
Yeah, I've heard that.
There's like a battle scene at the end. She has to slay the Jabberwock.
Cool. Very cool.
She has to get the Vorpal blade or whatever.
Well, I've definitely seen the scenes with Joni Dripp where he does the frumpy dance. What's it called? He does some sort of dance.
The Humpty dance.
No, it's not the Humpty dance.
I don't know.
It's like hang on. It's called the Futterwacken. He does the Futterwacken dance. I've seen that scene, and that's a real, like, what are we doing here? You know, like, who is this for? Is this for kids? Do kids like this?
Maybe.
I feel like kids like this movie. I mean,
yeah,
you know, little kids in 2005, like we were 14, 15 or whatever, right? So it's like,
I think people like not that much younger than us who, like, let's say like 4 years younger than us, who would have been 11, maybe 10 growing up. And I think people remember this movie fondly of a certain age. Yeah. And I just invite you to rewatch it. Like rewatch it as an adult a week after watching the 1971.
Yeah, I when I was bringing this up to some younger friends or coworkers, whatever, like we're doing Willy Wonka, they're like, "Oh yeah, like the Joni Dripp movie." No. That's the one they know. Yeah. They're like, "Oh, there's an original one." A couple people said, "I know." It's like, what does the world come to, Alex?
It's. I don't belong in this world anymore.
I know. We better snuff it out. You know what I mean? We had a good run. This, you know what? I'm actually comfortable saying this right at the top. This is the last episode of the Franchisees. This is the last one. Yeah. This is not, I don't think this is necessarily the worst movie we've ever watched.
No.
But it was maybe the most annoying.
It was also just kind of,
right?
Yeah, annoying and disappointing, like going from the 1971 to this. Like, you know, we were in such high spirits after that, and then I know you were optimistic for this one.
I was.
And I remember I tried watching this like within the last couple of years. So I stopped watching it. You know, I kind of knew what we were getting into. Yeah. So it's just disappointing and just it just kind of, and I'm exceptionally hungover.
Yeah, good for you.
But
I'm just tired from work.
Yeah, but I also believe that this movie has like a draining power to it. You know, it's like a vampire.
I actually don't feel
this movie is a vampire.
No, I mean it is. It's extremely draining. I feel like I just gone to, you know, anyway, never mind. I just feel dead. I feel dead. Yeah. And so maybe that's a good point for me to mention. I brought some Wonka everlasting gobstoppers. Do you want one?
Sure, please.
Yeah, here I have some. I have some right here.
Okay.
Do you want some? These are famous Willy Wonka everlasting gobstoppers. I only have 4 left. Do you want some?
It's such a good thing that this is an audio only podcast.
Do you want some?
Yeah, maybe we should find a good reason to do those gobstoppers. Like we should find a concert to do gobstoppers.
Yeah, maybe we can save these. Maybe not for the podcast. Maybe we should go out dancing. Yeah, go to a rave or something.
Yeah, on gobstopper.
Yeah. On everlasting gobstoppers. I brought that because I thought it'd be funny.
It is funny.
But you know, it's like. You know, people often say, "Oh, it's like that was years ago." Like about that years, it must be so old, right? I mean, we're talking like 4 or 5 years, something, however long, right? But as people often say, you know, if the ancient Egyptians had invented everlasting gobstoppers and we found it in the pyramids, and you took it, it would still be fine.
They'd be good to.
It would still be good to go. Yeah. So, and it's not quite everlasting, but it's a solid 6 to 10 hours.
I do wish you could have seen what I saw. Like just like a bag tied in a knot to keep itself closed, and just 4 juicy gobstoppers.
Yeah, whenever I take juicy,
We should do gobstoppers and watch Aphex Twin.
Fuck yeah, man. Yeah, totally, bro.
Aphex Twin music video.
Yeah, bro. Whenever I take everlasting gobstoppers, because it's a bit of a gamble, right?
Oh,
you
yeah.
It's a roll of the dice. You never know what's gonna happen.
Dude, the next day, the dopamine depletion from everlasting gobstopper.
Fuck, it's deadly. It's deadly.
You need another gobstopper.
I mean, you literally, it could kill you. Yeah. I get this really warm feeling in the back of my neck, kind of at the base of my spine, like you know what I mean, where I get this like really, really warm. Like I kind of look forward to this really like warm feeling back right at the back of my neck, and I feel like I'm maybe like just a foot taller.
Oh,
you ever
wow.
feel that way?
When I do everlasting gobstoppers?
Yeah, you just kind of feel a little lifted. You know what I mean?
I get it more in my. I mean, everyone does, but I get a real chest feeling from everlasting gobstoppers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice,
where it just feels
nice,
like.
man.
Well, I mean, it could be. There's the good rush, but then there's also times where it feels like my heart's going to explode out of my chest on everlasting gobstopper.
Right, of course.
Because the flavors are too strong and everlasting.
It's true. It is quite a rush, isn't it? A flavor.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought that'd be funny.
That was funny.
Just to bring some for you.
Yeah, that was good. Prop comedy.
Yeah, on the audio, on the audio medium. Okay.
Sure.
Before we get into this,
Sure.
let's talk about some other things.
Sure. I want to shout out, within the last couple of weeks, this happened a couple times, a brave listener has downloaded all the episodes of the pod. Like that brave soul who saw Captain Marvel in theaters like 43 times and got to meet Brie Larson. But we thank you. We salute you.
Yes.
And surely everyone listening has a friend who's in desperate need of parasocial company and friendship.
Yes. People are so lonely.
Yeah. So recommend us to the lonely film nerd in your life.
Yes.
And have at it, I say.
Yes. And as the meme goes, is the cure to male loneliness listening to the franchisees?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Yes. Let us be your friends.
Loneliness of all shades and creeds and colors.
Yeah. It's not just for lonely men. It could be for anybody.
Yeah. Lonely families.
Yeah. But let's be real. Lonely Travis Bickle types is certainly the target demographic.
Who are rolling on gobstoppers.
Who've been rolling. Now remember, the thing with the everlasting gobstopper is that you take one and maybe you wait an hour and maybe you don't feel anything and you're going to be tempted to pop another one in your mouth.
Give it a bit.
No. There's no need. You just wait. Just wait. Just be patient.
Sometimes they take a bit longer.
I know, and everyone's always saying, "Oh, do I have a meal before? Do I vacate my bowels before?" Like, listen, it's a complicated thing. It's they call it a trip for a reason, right? It takes a long time. Set and setting when you're sucking on one of those gobstoppers, very important. Timothy Leary style. It's very important. Yeah. Anyway, just something to think about.
Absolutely.
If you wanted to pop one before you listen to this, that might do you good. The warm sound of our voices will give you a hug, just like we're really there, like rubbing on a nice fuzzy carpet.
Pop it now, and we promise you that in an hour we'll make it worth your while.
Yeah,
just like hard cut to window liquor.
Anyway, and just be careful. Don't make sure to drink lots of water, but not too much water, or else you'll die. your brain will swell. Your brain, if you drink too much water, it goes all the way up into your brain, and then your brain drowns in water.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful. Just drink a normal amount of water.
Don't overthink it.
And chew some gum, right? Because if you don't, you're gonna clench your jaw.
Yeah.
Chewing on your own teeth.
You're gonna grind your teeth down.
Just be careful. Just be careful.
Chew on the gobstopper.
Yeah,
we're talking about candy.
That's right, of course. Yeah. Anyway, Alex, what else have you seen? You see any movies in the past week? I sure did. I saw some new releases. Plenty, actually, a lot of new releases. But I'll be quick.
I actually saw. I watched The Trial with my mom. She's a big fan of that movie.
Orson Welles movie?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I actually got the Criterion for her for a gift.
Nice.
And we watched it together, and I really liked it.
Yeah.
I'm really smart. I read the book first,
great.
so I was really familiar with the story, and it's a cool take. You know, Orson Welles, he always liked to do interesting things. Anthony Perkins is great in it.
Really good. Yeah.
And it's such a bizarre story.
Yeah. I saw that because the restoration came out and they played it at the review, I think. And being trapped in the theater with that movie, it's like extremely unpleasant movie.
Mm-hmm.
The vibes are off. The vibes are indeed quite Kafkaesque.
Don't do Gobstopper and watch the trial.
No, it's not a Gobstopper movie. It's not even a fuzzy lifting drink movie, which could be alcohol maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Beers.
Yeah, beers.
So,
I'm glad you watched that. That's awesome.
Yeah, really dug it. I watched The Menu, which was
whatever.
Yeah.
I know why you watched that.
Yeah,
for your gal,
ATJ,
Nicholas Hoult.
My gal. Are you the boy from About a Boy?
The boy. Yeah, that's right. Call back.
Yeah.
Somebody once called Alex the boy from About a Boy.
They asked me if I was. I was not. I'm not Nicholas Hoult, unfortunately.
Not unfortunately, yeah.
But yeah,
Nicholas Hoult, soon to be seen in Clint Eastwood's masterpiece, Juror Number 2.
Oh,
they finished it.
Great.
My God, he survived. It's crazy, and he has a big beard and everything. It's awesome.
Clint Eastwood?
Yeah,
cool.
He made it because they were filming it, and we're like, oh, okay, perfect. Once they start production, there's no way he's just gonna die.
Yeah,
like he's gonna finish it. But then the writers and actors strikes happened, and they had to take a big pause. But baby, they finished it. They're back. It's done. It's probably gonna come out next year.
I'm very happy for you.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I just, it's just the like I went to Cry Macho in the theater. I was like one of the only people there, and I don't think that's one of his best movies or anything, but it was just a very emotional experience seeing him up there. I was, very much getting Clint pilled, and I thought for sure this is the last movie he'll make.
Yeah.
But here we are. So,
and then the last thing I think worth shouting out is, I work from home 3 days a week.
Luxury.
Pardon?
Luxury.
Yeah. Yes.
Luxury.
I thought maybe you were saying "look shorty" in like a Welsh or Scouse accent.
Luxury. We grew up in the Four Yorkshiremen sketch, Monty Python one. They're like four like rich like Yorkshire guys, and they're all talking about their childhoods, and they're competing about who was the most destitute, who had the most Charlie Bucket childhood.
Oh really?
Yeah, like we lived in a can of beans. Yeah, luxury.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. You're lucky you had a can. Like I can't do the voice, but you know what I mean.
That's actually very funny.
Yeah.
But
sorry, what you were saying?
You're working from home.
Luxury.
You want to put something on in the background.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
You can only listen to lo-fi beats to study to for so long.
Of course, yes.
So I found there's a band on my radar, and I've tried listening to their album stuff, and for some reason the studio things just don't really connect with me. I'm talking about Black Country New Road.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I am familiar, yeah. I've been trying to get into it too because it's people trying to, my cousin bought me the record for Christmas, and I don't know. I just there's something yeah. I can't really get into it.
Okay. This is great then. So me neither.
Yeah.
I heard all about this band, tried listening to it. Something about their kind of like they're all like a bunch of jazzy music school students, so they're very like technical, and they're trying to do interesting things. Yeah.
Horns, Alex.
Horns, woodwinds, violins. And it just wasn't clicking with me. But I put on in the background while working this past week. They have like a few like live concert specials that they've guess just filmed and put on YouTube. And they have one with the main lead vocalist who actually left the band citing mental health issues or whatever. And that one's called like Live from like Queen Elizabeth Hall or something.
Oh yeah, okay.
And it's, for some reason, like just watching them perform it along with the music and doing their like conceptual music school student kids,
Yeah.
it just made it like more palatable for me. And I actually kind of enjoyed it. And then after he left the group citing mental health issues, they released pretty quickly after that, like it's called Live at Bush Hall. And it's another like one of these YouTube live shows, and they like styled it to be like a prom night from like 81, and it's like the exact opposite, because there's stuff with this lead singer was like super like moody and depressive, like show me the place where he inserted the blade, like it literally sounds like that, you know.
Yeah.
And then in this one, they like, obviously there's still like moody violin pieces and whatnot, but then they also have like really like upbeat songs about being friends forever and stuff like that, like. And they were enjoyable to just have on. So
okay.
Shout outs to Black Country New Road for your live YouTube stuff. And maybe I'll try listening to the studio stuff again.
Yeah, and shout outs to my cousin Stefan, who gave me that record. But a lot, and I'm trying to get into it. Maybe this will be the way to crack the nut.
Let me know if it works.
Yeah, I will. But he also got me the record, which became one of my favorites, Death Consciousness, by Have a Nice Life. Okay. And I really recommend you listen to this album.
Cool.
This is a very like Reddit, a 4chan, like our music, whatever fucking thing. But and you can see why, because it's like it's a perfect album for like dateless chuds. But
I'll check it out.
It's so good. It's so good.
Have a Nice Life.
Have a Nice Life is the name of the band. Death Consciousness is the name of the album. It's amazing. I listen to it a lot, and we'll put some music, put some Death Consciousness in this episode somewhere, I'm sure. Even though it's not really appropriate for Wonka. Yeah, she wonk on my willy, as they were saying. All these fucking letterbox losers. She wonk on my willy till I Chalamet or whatever. Oh. Who cares? So funny, so original. I'm the original one who can't. Speaking of original, and this will be the Jordan shout out of the week. You know my classic joke, my famous joke. Charles Melton. Somebody get that guy in the fridge. Now I've been tweeting that. I'm trying to make it work. I'm trying to craft it, trying to kind of crystallize it, right? Jordan just tweeted it out yesterday. He just stole it. He just said, pass it off as his own joke. He just said, Charles Melton, somebody get this guy in the fridge. Just like that. And it did numbers. We're talking like 8, maybe like 10 likes.
Fuck.
And those are my likes.
Those are your likes.
Those are my likes.
Yeah.
And I told him, when we go up to heaven, we die at exactly the same time in the same bus accident. We go to heaven. And St. Peter is tallying up all the likes you got, which is how you get into heaven or go to hell. Those likes will be correctly attributed to me.
Yeah.
When we are facing judgment, and and I hope I would not wish the bad place on anyone, but I do hope that tips the scale in my favor to go into heaven, and the opposite happens for Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as such, as punishment. Before we shuffle off this mortal coil, as punishment on earth, now we will no longer mention his name in this episode.
Okay?
Just for this episode. Yeah. He will not come up again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, all I'll say is shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
The Steve McQueen film starring Michael Fassbender.
As a sex addict.
And his huge penis.
Massive dong. Charles Melton also had a massive dong in May, December. You
I didn't really get. Well, see, now that it's available,
I rewatched it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I'm gonna rewatch it, maybe even tonight.
Yeah.
Just to take a little peek, just to hit that pause button.
Look at that.
Yeah. All right, I saw some movies. I went to the theater to see Godzilla -1.
I've been hearing about that.
Movie. Very good.
Cool.
Yeah. Shin Godzilla, I really like as well. I think maybe, I think I might like that one more, maybe more like conceptually. But this movie was extremely entertaining.
Why is it called -1?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Shin Godzilla is like, like what Godzilla -1, it's like, that's how it goes.
Okay.
That was a pretty good explanation, right?
Yeah, that's all I need.
No, I'm sure there's a good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good. Now I haven't seen a lot of the like classic Godzilla movies. I watched a lot of them like on TV as a kid in snippets, but I do not remember, like, not enough to log them on Letterboxd. Even the like dumb movies I watched as a kid that I remember enough to be like, okay, I could log that on Letterboxd. I've seen it. Or mark it as watched. These ones I was like, I don't remember. I just remember little bits and pieces of them. But I've seen maybe 5 of them or something. And but I would say, this is like top tier stuff. Like this is it feels very. There's a whole section where it's like a Jaws kind of thing, but it's with Godzilla. The whole ending like thing where they're teaming up to trap Godzilla. Like there's kind of a Top Gun Maverick kind of vibe to it, like of just like going over the plan and then enacting the plan. I was like, it's just getting you excited in this kind of like action spectacle sort of way. The destruction, the scene where he's actually coming through and just destroying the town is like genuinely really upsetting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's super, super intense.
The best Godzilla is, of course, Roland Emmerich's
Godzilla
with Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, he who shall not be named on this podcast after I just said, he would agree as well. As a big Godzilla fan, the person I'm supposed to bring up.
I see what you're saying.
This is a good point to mention who I saw Godzilla with. Friend of the show, past and future guest Catherine. Friend of the show, future guest Kai. Friend of the show, future guest Alex. Friend of the show, future guest Rob. And I think that's it. That's everyone I saw the movie with. So shout out, hi everybody. Godzilla was fun, huh? We sure had fun there. Okay, bye now. Anyway, definitely go see that. If you have the opportunity to see Godzilla -1 in the theater, I absolutely recommend taking it. They're showing it in IMAX because it's not filmed for IMAX, but they're showing it in IMAX because it's
That's what they do now.
It's more expensive, yeah. It's a good marketing thing. But I will say, the big screen and the sound quality in IMAX is great. And to hear that booming like Godzilla score, it's like electrifying.
Yeah.
The movie is so good. And all Godzilla movies, the Godzilla fight scenes are great. It's the parts in between that you have to, be worried about. It's like some of the drier ones, the human parts can be pretty stale, right?
Yeah.
In this one, the human drama is like, it's very well done.
Nice.
It's emotional enough that like I was on the brink of crying. It's like people were crying in the movie theater because of Godzilla and the sacrifice the people of Japan have made. It's sort of that Top Gun Maverick angle. Like, is it like nationalistic, like militaristic, like kind of, yeah, it's, yeah, a little bit, and I've seen some good critiques about that.
But whatever, it's
but that
Godzilla.
doesn't ruin the movie for me, It doesn't make the movie better. It's just something to think about.
It's about a giant iguana.
Yeah. At the end of the day, what's it about?
Yeah.
Godzilla, not a metaphor.
Yeah.
It's very simple. He's just a big guy. Okay, and the opposite end of the spectrum of both type of movie and quality.
Oh no.
Saltburn.
Oh yeah.
Saltburn.
You
From
saw
Emerald
Saltburn.
Fennell,
Yeah.
who's born on October 1st, my birthday,
Wonka
and
Day.
original Wonka Day. However, they changed Wonka Day to February in the Tim Burton movie.
Tim, you idiot.
Fucking
you
guy.
dolt.
Saltburn is bad. I didn't like Promising Young Woman. It was I think it was like, so there's like a bad movie and then there's a movie that's like actively like making you angry.
Normies
Do you know what I
seem
mean?
to like it though. Normies
I
are
know.
like, it's so fucked up. And when it's like, listen, if you think that's fucked up, then you've been watching Marvel for too long. Pal.
Yeah, right. I got some fucked up movies to show you. Like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I feel the same way about this. Like, I think I was a packed crowd in the theater, which I was not expecting.
Do you feel like the crowd loved it?
Well, this is the funny thing about a movie that's like quote unquote divisive, right? To actually experience it in a crowd and to actually have like half the crowd laughing and half the crowd not, it was really funny. Like,
Interesting.
it was always the same people. And I heard it afterwards, people walking out of the theater being like, bro, that was so fucked up. Like, I can't believe that happened. You know? And I just wanted to be like, I just wanted to shake my head. You know?
Have you seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah. Have you?
2005?
Have you even seen what Joni Dripp does? It's just stupid. Like, I'm all for provocation, and I'm all for right. Obviously,
love that shit.
Obviously, yeah. I'm all for you know, like a bold satire that you know
transgressive.
Yeah, that's transgressive and whatever. But if it's in the service of nothing, then it feels very empty. And I think a lot of the time people will look at something transgressive or look at something shocking in a film and say, oh, that was unnecessary. That was gratuitous, right? And in fact, no, there is a point to it. There's a reason, you know, there's a thematic goal in mind. And in this movie, no. all the little clippy parts that'll get onto TikTok and whatever, and I think the TikTok kids will like it. All that shit, like out of context, I could see, you know, being like, wow, what the fuck is this movie?
It's
like,
in service of nothing.
It's zero. And I like to, you know, I'm an older man now. I want to give things the benefit of the doubt. I want to trust the filmmaker. I want to like a movie. I didn't go to it to be like, yeah, I can't wait to fucking hate this piece of shit.
Yeah.
It makes me hard to hate. I'm not a hater.
I think this podcast has helped with that, like help alleviate some of our film cynicism and snobbery, you know? Like,
possibly, yeah. I genuinely was not trying to not like the movie, but it's just bad. It just is bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I was with it. And here's the thing. If you're with it and you're giving it the benefit of the doubt all the way through the movie, and you're thinking, okay, well, what's she cooking here? Let's see where it's going, right? Because in a movie like this, it really hinges on the ending. What's going to happen? The last act of the movie removes all doubt. It is just a piece of shit.
Okay.
It's just a dumb movie with no ideas about nothing. And the way that the kind of ending is sort of edited or put together as something of a reveal. And it's like, it's not a reveal. It's not a reveal of anything. It's just what
dumb.
you expected to happen. You know what I mean? There's just nothing there.
Oh,
so yeah, it's bad. However, I would say Jacob Elordi
oh my God.
is actually not bad in it.
I get it. He's hot. We love Jacob Elordi.
Yeah.
We love Hunter Schafer. We love the cast of Euphoria.
Well, yeah, they're doing great. I love them. I love them all. There's everything.
I'm going to see
Jacob
Madam
Elordi
Web
is hot.
for Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, you would, you perv.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to see her breasts bounce boobly, as they say. Yeah. We get it. No, they're doing great. All of them. Good for them. And all the ones who played ball and all the ones who didn't, never heard of them again. Buried. That's not how it works. I'm just kidding. Anyway, don't watch Saltburn. It's actually
You make me want to watch it.
No, dude, sorry. This is the problem. Do watch Saltburn. It's entertaining. I was super I was like engaged with the movie because it's nice to look at. I think I was saying like it's entertaining to watch something that is really, really confident about itself, but has nothing. It's a zero substance.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But please don't pay money for it.
It's like the cinematic equivalent of like a blowhard, or someone who's very like cocksure or speaks with like, you know, confidence, but then they're not saying anything.
Yeah, it's that Onion headline everybody shares whenever like one of the Red Scare girls says something provocative, or one of the other or somebody's being edgy and it falls flat, where they say Marilyn Manson now going door to door to shock people. You know, it's like that. People were like, when some of the more disgusting things happened, people were like, "Oh my God!" People, you know, huge reactions in the crowd, and I was just sitting there cross-armed, and I was like, like, you know, if I wanted to show someone eating cum, I would show it this way, not this way.
Right,
you know,
yeah.
like, you know, fucking losers. Anyway, whatever. I saw some junk. This is all junk. Dream Scenario, the new Nicolas Cage film.
Oh yeah, how's that?
Not bad. Not
Okay.
bad. Yeah, I think you know, it's very funny.
Good.
Nicolas Cage gives a really good performance, I think.
Great.
But I don't know. It's a lot of ideas. Not all of them work. Not all the jokes work, I guess. Especially, the kind of last act, like where is it leading, I thought was a little bit disappointing. But it's very funny and definitely worth watching. And filmed in Toronto, and parts of it. And you can tell, lots of great Toronto locations.
Yeah, so I've been watching the What We Do in the Shadows TV show, and they filmed that in Toronto, and it's always fun. It's always fun being like, oh, look, there's that stupid theater that was showing Come For Away for 3 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Right by the
Dear
TIFF
Evan
light
Hansen.
box.
Yeah. No, honestly, not much to say about it. Like, Fallen Leaves.
I really want to see that. I really want to see that because it's based on the Billy Talent song Fallen Leaves. No.
Hang on a sec.
But we should have a needle drop of that.
Yeah, sure.
Great track, great record. But you like Fallen Leaves, the movie?
Fallen Leaves is really good. Yeah,
I really want to watch it.
I haven't seen a lot of Karsmaki movies, but the ones I've seen, like, it's very, very much the same style, right? He's a real auteur, as they say en français, and I was very impressed with with it's just a very simple movie. It's just like a kind of like in that way a very like pure film, like so simple love story. Very deadpan, very dry, very funny. There is without ruining it or anything. There's a scene, right, where the couple or the would-be couple go to a movie, and they're like, would you like to go to the cinema? Yes, and then it cuts to them in the movie theater and what the movie they're watching, and the movie they're watching. Never in a million years would I have guessed that's the one that they would have watched.
Interesting.
And it was one of the funniest thing, like that cut to the thing, and a lot of people aren't going to know what it is. Like it's not an obscure movie. It's just kind of a movie that like I feel like a lot of people don't know exists. You know what I mean? Oh. And it cut to it, and I didn't like laugh out loud necessarily. It's kind of not really that kind of movie necessarily, right? Sure. But my God, if that's not one of the funniest things I've seen all year.
I might end up just going to see that by myself at TIFF.
That's what I did.
I really want to catch that before it leaves.
Yeah, you should. It's really good. It's 80 minutes long.
Oh, Mwah. Love that. Love that.
Mwah. This is me kissing Aki's head. I love you. Yeah, really good. I understand people might find it slight. Like there was this couple, it was a pretty empty theater. This couple stood up after the movie. They were both wearing big fur hats, and they were wearing big fur hats throughout the entire film. It's like, it was warm in there too. I don't know. They were wearing these big hats. Yeah. Like they were, they seemed like well-to-do, and okay. They were wearing big fur hats. It was kind of weird. And they stood up, and one of them said, they were obviously like, cine-snob type people. It was like, there but for the grace of God go I. But one of them said, I can't believe that won the jury prize at Cannes. More like the jury prize for lifetime achievement, but like not for that film. Like that was nothing, And the other guy was like, I agree. Like like it's frivolous. It's slight. It's this. It's that. And they were the only other people there, so they kind of looked at me like I was laughing. I was kind of chuckling a little bit, and I was like, he didn't like it, eh? And she was like, absolutely not, absolutely, like hi, well, how dare you make a movie that's simple, I don't know. So to them I say, fuck you, take off your fucking fur hat, you fucking Russian, I don't know, whoever.
You Cossack.
You Cossack, yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Cool.
No, I think people. It's easy to be like, oh, this is slight. You know what I mean? This is the foam on my cappuccino. Is that a bad thing?
Something to be said for like a simple, just well done, well told story.
And I think it's much more profound than that too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I don't know, whatever. And finally, I did see.
Here it comes.
With friend of the pod, future guest Yuki, we went to see Maestro. Sorry. I'm sorry, darling. I happened to hit the microphone with my fingers when I was bringing them up to my nose to plug my nose to do the maestro voice. Alex, I'm thinking of a number, darling. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10, darling. You have to guess.
6.
No, Alex. This is actually how the scene goes in the movie, too. Alex, darling. No, you have to think, darling. You have to think. We're connected. Think. We're sitting back to back, by the way.
Is it 2?
This is how we... It's 2, darling. That's right. 2, like a pair, like us.
You're getting really good at that.
Okay, what I learned from Maestro is that there's three Bradley Coopers. There's young, like in 20-something Bradley Cooper with where the big nose is really, and he looks smooth. They may try to make him look younger. And then there's like the middle-aged Leonard Bernstein, and he's the one who really talks like this. And then there's like a much elderly kind of like late 80s, in the late 1980s, like Elmer Bernstein or Leonard Bernstein, sorry. And each iteration has a slightly different voice, which is great because So I was excited about this because I don't really care about A Star Is Born. I think it's like very entertaining and well done, but it's not really the kind of movie that I respond to. So I don't have expectations for this, right? What I was excited about is that it is a classic like Hollywood vanity project, right?
Big time.
Writer, he did write it. Writer, director, star, producer, whatever. The whole kit and caboodle.
3 different voices.
3 different voices, 3 different time periods, 3 different aspect ratios, 3 different
gunning for it.
Film stocks.
He wants it so bad.
Just layers and layers of prosthetics. And a lot of it is good. It's just that it's extremely corny and sincere, which is fine. I just don't think there was really much there. There's not a lot of it's not a lot of meat on the bone, really. Like, I didn't really feel like it had a lot of interiority. Like it's mostly about him and his wife. But and like the difficulties of their marriage, like of him being like, I guess whatever, a creative genius who's like prone to depression and other things, but also is like bisexual and has a lot of like gay lovers and stuff, and how that is kind of what puts strain on their marriage. But and it's not to say that that's not like an interesting subject to explore. I just feel like they didn't. When they portray it, it's kind of like funny and a little like alarmist, maybe. I don't know. So I saw someone comparing it to like the Freddie Mercury gay scenes in Bohemian Rhapsody, where it's like he's like, I have to go be gay now, and then it's like him, railing coke and like hanging out with all these like gay guys, and it's like, this is the worst part of this is the lowest he's ever been. It's like,
looks like a good time.
Yeah, and in this one, I don't think that's necessarily a fair comparison. However, there's one very funny scene where I actually kind of couldn't believe what I was seeing in the theater. It's like there's a scene where he and Carey Mulligan, who plays his wife Felicia, and where they're still sort of like courting each other, right, before they get married, and he's bringing her to see some of the musical theater he's working on. It's his production of On the Town, right? That's where New York, it's a hell of a town.
On the town, yeah, on the town,
yeah. And there's kind of this little like magical kind of like set piece thing where they're watching the performers in the sailor suits doing their dance, and then she says something like, I don't know what she says, but he says something like I want, there's a lot of things I want, and then he gets whisked away by the gay sailors, and then he cuts to him in the sailor suit, and he's dancing, and it's kind of like, look, he's being whisked away by all these gay sailors. And they're dancing and trying to get connected again, but he always gets whisked away by the gay sailors. And I just thought, number one, like, isn't there a better way of doing this? And then number two, like, it's not to say that we live in a perfect society where everyone's accepted and everything's gravy, right? Of course not. And it's also not to say you can't make works of art exploring how like gay people have been oppressed in the past.
Sure.
It's just that the way that this is done felt a little silly to me.
Right.
Like it kind of felt like, well, like just figure it out. I don't know. You know what I mean?
It sounds like he's throwing everything at the board and seeing what sticks for that juicy Oscar.
It feels really like give me an Oscar. It's not bad. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like I can't like the movie for what it is and what it's trying to be. The only way it's possible for me to really like it is to like it from a detached, ironic perspective, because there's so much that's silly about it, like the voices and the makeup and the this and that, and then like I don't know, whatever, who cares? But yeah, I'll be doing the Maestro voice until I die because I.
Absolutely terrific, darling.
How's that? Is that kind of there?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, and she's like, oh, you're so talented, Maestro. Like, why can't you keep our family together? And he's like, I love cock too much, darling.
I want to be whisked away by gay sailors. I want to go on a cruise, you see.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. There's one great scene of him conducting that I thought, okay, this is really good. And then the rest of it, it's just him being like, I'm very sad, darling. I'm sad. I'm sad I can't have everything. I don't know, whatever.
How blessed are we, though? Consecutive years, 2 amazing conductor movies, Tar and Maestro.
Yes. How blessed. two great films that I love. Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much that.
That was what we watched corner.
Yep. That's the what we watched corner.
And if those gobstoppers are kicking in, this one's for you.
Here we go.
Oi, bruv. We saw you, mate. Ecstasy, bruv. Saw you on the dance floor. Ecstasy, bruv. Dropping Molly, mate. MDMA. Ecstasy, bruv. Molly bleeding Ringwald. Oi, ecstasy. 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 Ecstasy.
We'll drop in something funny.
Oh,
trippy.
yeah. Oh, the what we watched corner?
No, I'm just saying for the people who did gobstoppers.
Oh yeah, we'll put in some Molly Ringwald, MDMA, ecstasy. Remember that?
Yeah, that was good.
Molly bleeding Ringwald.
That was a great piece of video art.
Yeah, I know. No one ever saw it. It's a shame. All right, let's talk about this fucking movie.
Charlie
and go home.
and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, fuck off. I felt like Ray Romano in this one.
Deborah, turn it off!
Yeah, Deborah.
Turn it off, Deborah!
Deborah, can't reach the TV remote, Deborah.
Peter Boyle!
Peter Boyle, yeah. Peter Boyle, turn it off.
Everybody loves Raymond.
Yeah, that's right.
Nobody loves Robert.
Nobody loves me. I'm gonna replace Fred Armisen in the Ninja Turtles movie, voicing Krang. And he did. Good for him.
Yeah, he certainly did.
Okay. What do you think about this movie? We talked about Tim Burton. Okay.
Sure.
What an incredible run of films.
Yes.
In the 80s, 90s. Incredible.
And then he kind of jumped on the Disney boat and kind of became.
This isn't a Disney movie.
This one is not.
This is a Warner movie.
Yes.
But the Disney one for sure is Alice in Wonderland, of course. Right?
This has the strains of the DNA of what he would like you said.
Yes.
Like it is really kind of a turning point.
Yes.
A lot of CG starts getting involved.
Yes.
And this has, out of all the Tim Burton CGI fest movies, I think this has some of the worst.
Yeah, it's extremely smooth in a bad way.
Well, just right off the bat, when we were watching Willy Wonka last week, also very nice that we've gotten to watch these together again. That's been really enjoyable.
I agree.
But it opens with almost oddly satisfying footage of a chocolate factory and chocolate being poured and melted and this chocolate created. In this one, it's all it's a CGI version of that sequence kind of. Yeah. They look like Windows 2000 screensaver, quality graphics. And then this just obnoxious score by Danny Elfman that's just electronic circus music with some
bum 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 bum. That's how they all kind of sound, right? Maestro. Yeah. I'm thinking of my darling. Oh, I'm thinking of a lumber. When he sounds like Marlon Brando. I'm thinking of a lumber. I'm thinking of a lumber.
It's how many sailors he wants to fuck.
Yeah. I mean, Marlon Brando was no slouch. He had sex with plenty of sailors. And Richard Pryor.
I feel we all just kind of want to be whisked away by a crew of gay sailors on the good ship.
Yeah.
Talk.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, I haven't seen it, but we should watch Quirrell, the last film
Fassbender.
of Fassbender. Yeah,
I'd love to see that. I've
Yeah,
never
we should
seen
watch
it.
that. Let's watch that. Let's
Sure.
watch that together. Take our shirts off and see what happens. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quirrell party.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
So like right off the bat, so different from the original, and just not quite my tempo.
No. This really does feel like the beginning of that Tim Burton house style. That's yeah. That's what I meant. Obviously you see it in Edward Scissorhands. You see it in even in Batman and some of the the extreme production design and so on. But like this is the first time where it's like, okay, it feels like now he is with technology being where it's at, he can recreate like
his designs and his
Exactly.
drawings, right? He can like get it like completely.
he can
flush.
make it work.
Yeah.
And actually, there's a funny tidbit I read on the Wikipedia page, like when they designed the big room, like the chocolate room,
Yeah.
right? Because of the curves of the set, it was actually really difficult to like film it properly and to
No,
have
that's
everything
funny.
look right. So they had to build like a cable system for like the camera to be like kind of above, right?
Oh my God.
And at one point, the camera, which was I think like $500,000 like camera,
Like an Ari Alexa probably or something.
fell into the chocolate river.
No,
and was
like Augustus
destroyed.
Gloop.
Yes.
That's so funny. But yeah, we were saying when we were watching that scene, like I was like, in the Willy Wonka review, we were talking about how, they didn't have the means to, they did the best that they could. They production designed the hell out of an actual like warehouse factory space. In this instance, we have Tim Burton, all the money and power of Warner Brothers, like bringing his vision to life. So the chocolate room is more of like this wondrous place, but it's not really like wondrous, it's just kind of like cold and
Yeah, it's very sterile.
like it's designed. It's really designed. He art directed the shit out of it, but it's just not. It's lacking some of that charm. It's lacking that Munich factory floor charm.
Well, they have been trying to get another adaptation made for like ages, right? And like everybody was attached to it, like Terry Gilliam or like Spike Jonze or like Scorsese was very briefly attached. Like just tons of people, like Nicolas Cage was going to be Wonka, like Brad Pitt was going to be, like not like I don't know how far these things got, if they were just under consideration or this or that, but they had been trying to make this forever. And at one point, I think they were close to making like a Tom Shadyac and Jim Carrey version, which would have been like a
Awesome.
much more. Well, do you think so? I don't know.
Well, like I'll say,
Could we sanction his buffoonery? Probably not.
the epic movie scene, because we watched that on YouTube with Crispin Glover as
Yes.
Willy Wonka parodying the chocolate room scene with him, taking a mallet to Cal Penn's balls while
Yes.
dancing to Fergalicious. Made me laugh more. I enjoyed that more than anything in Charlie and the Chocolate
I did
Factory.
too. And
So
if-
Jim Carrey sounds kind of cool.
Well, you're right, but Jim Carrey's no Crispin Glover.
No,
that's a
that-
piece of casting. Yeah.
yeah.
So if you want a weird guy,
Get Crispin Glover.
get Crispin Glover. Don't
Get him
get
to do
Joni
more
Dripp.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Crispin
Get a
Glover.
real weird guy like Crispin Glover. That scene in Epic Movie is funny. I'm there. I've said it. We should probably do Epic Movie now.
Yeah, we do the movies. Also, you mentioned Terry Gilliam. You reminded me. I did rewatch for the first time in a long time The Adventures of Baron Munchausen.
I've never seen it.
Highly recommend. It's like one of his. I hate bureaucracy. You're always ruining me, but it's one of the good ones, right? It's
Yeah.
like that, along with Brazil and Time Bandits, are kind
Zero
of considered
Theorem, of course.
the Imaginarium of Dr.
Imaginarium of
Parnassus.
Dr. Parnassus.
It's a good one. Anyway.
Yeah, I've been meaning to check that out. I do want to see that eventually.
And I will say, like, going back to the whole, like, closer to the source material, like, is that always a good thing? Like, The Shining, the original book, they had the hedge, it was hedge animals that came alive and terrorized the family. The hedge maze, so much cooler, so much sleeker, Like, in this movie, they have the scene where Prince Pondicherry requests like a Taj Mahal made of chocolate, essentially,
Yeah.
or a palace. And it's like, yeah, maybe we didn't really need to see that, you know, like, but then people are saying it's like more close to the source material, but then they also do other things like showing you Willy Wonka's dad, who's Christopher Lee as a dentist.
Add some class to the picture.
The moment with Christopher Lee and Willy Wonka at the end, it was one of the like nice moments where, you know, there was some feeling beneath it. Yeah, so it's like you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, yes, this is closer to the source material, but it's not. And then the stuff that's not from the source material is the only stuff that I remotely like had feelings for. You know, it just kind of stinks.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think when it comes to adaptation, like sticking to the source material or not doesn't really matter to me. It's like, can you execute a vision that like captures the spirit of the work, right? And I don't know. I'm not a big Roald Dahl guy. Like, does this capture the spirit of the books? To my knowledge, not in the same way that the original one does.
And it's kind
which
of...
he didn't like, right? I think which he was dissatisfied with.
Really?
I believe so, yeah.
Well, we're also... This movie has going against it that we are comparing it to the original.
A good movie.
A good movie.
Yeah.
And a great movie.
Yeah.
And that sucks for this film because
Yes.
when when you're remaking it, like obviously you can't do the line readings in the same way.
No, nor should you.
But the similar lines come up and you're like, I liked how Gene delivered it better. Or like I liked, even though we were talking about James Fox plays Veruca's dad in this film.
Yes.
And he's just he's too stoic. He's not as pathetic enough as like Roy Kinnear, you know, who was like constantly just like stressed out about pleasing Veruca.
I know. When I saw his name in the credits, I was like, oh yeah, like I'm excited for this. This is funny because he's kind of like the great British actor at playing like a stuffy aristocrat type person or whatever. And it's like, it's boring. It's boring. It's so much funnier seeing kind of like a bald Roy Kinnear like huffing and puffing, trying to keep up with his
Veruca.
I'll get you whatever you want, darling. Yeah.
And I think what also adds to the boring is a lot of movies or specifically remakes from like this time to up until now, it feels like they don't believe in the audience as much, so they just have more exposition or like really they drive the point home just to make sure you've got it. Like scenes just take longer to play out. Like remakes of movies seem to be longer like than the originals and stuff. I don't have an example off the top of my head, but I'll find one. It'll be juicy.
This movie, you're right that the scenes do seem to drag out a little bit, and the rhythms of this film are very strange, not exciting and or interesting or anything. It just feels like because okay, we have to talk about Joni Dripp's performance, right? Mm-hmm. Like it feels like the movie is very much built around that, and so everything has to kind of be tailored to fit that, but I think it's a pretty bad performance, and I know we're comparing it to Gene Wilder, right? Mm. Well, okay. One thing I want to bring up first, Michael Jackson,
yes,
the king of pop,
yep,
and nothing else. certainly not the king of anything else. Just a pop. Just actively sought the role and secretly recorded an original soundtrack for the film at a small studio in Los Angeles. Warner Brothers did not want Jackson for the role, claiming that it would not be marketable for Jackson to be the leading role in a family film. I can't imagine why. However, they, quote, went nuts over the soundtrack and offered to acquire the songs in addition to a small role elsewhere in the film. Jackson was upset and shelved the songs, and I don't believe they've ever been released. I'm sure the songs are great.
Love to hear those songs.
So would I
would love to hear those songs.
Can you imagine if they did?
Shimon Augustus Gloop.
even if they if this movie had Michael Jackson songs and a Michael Jackson cameo, that would make it
like
better.
Where
I don't know,
because that would be genuinely quirky, like one
and dangerous to children.
Yeah.
In keeping with the spirit of the films. Yeah.
One of the like, viewer discretion notes on Netflix was like extreme levels of quirkiness or like sustained quirkiness or something.
Yeah.
It's like I guess it's quirky. It's just not fun.
Well, so the reason I brought up MJ,
Right.
not former guest of the pod, friend of the show, Mary Jane, but MJ, Michael Jackson, is that the line about Johnny Depp's performance became, oh, he's doing kind of a weird Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
right?
and he's not.
It's
It's
not really like that.
maybe like there are hints here and there, but it's less
a different thing.
It's
a
less
different
Michael
thing.
Jackson than Jack Sparrow is Keith Richards. You know,
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely. And yeah, it's funny to think that this is like hot off the heels of Jack Sparrow, one of the most beloved characters of all time.
One
in
of my
cinema.
faves.
One of your faves, and the one that you demanded go on our franchise's logo.
I demanded.
You
it.
said
Is he on there?
Yes, I said I don't like the idea of abuser Joni Dripp on the logo, and you said no, Ben. I am the marketing genius, and Joni Dripp must go on as Jack Sparrow, the beloved character.
Why is the rum gone? Why is the rum gone? Why is the rum gone?
Honestly, I didn't know he was on it.
my brother in Christ, you made the sandwich. Oh well.
No.
Yeah.
Clay did. Shout outs to
Yeah,
Clay.
it's all your fault,
He's
Clay.
talented designer.
Okay, you know what we should do now that once we cover the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise,
Yeah.
or Caribbean.
We should get tattoos, the entire map of Tortuga on our back.
No. We should change the logo and we should put a giant cancel sign through Joni Dripp. Can we do that? That'd be funny.
Well,
We should check off everyone we've done. So we'll put a check through Katniss and we'll put a big cancel sign through Joni Dripp. Anyway, I don't think it's a Michael Jackson style performance.
No.
He says he said something like, "Oh, it's like a George W. Bush thing."
Oh,
I don't think it's that.
I don't
either.
see that either.
No, I don't know. I don't.
See-
Yeah, here you go. Depp also based Wonka's unique voice on how he imagined George W. Bush sounded while high on drugs.
Cool.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Cool, Joni.
One thing though is that the design with the bob and the sunglasses is very like Anna Wintour, right?
Yes.
And which character do you think she's more honored to have been represented as? Edna Mode from The Incredibles, right? Is it
Yes.
kind of giving an Anna Wintour thing, or
Sure.
or Joni Dripp in this movie? I mean, let's be honest. She hasn't seen a movie since she's never seen a movie. The cult of personality around Anna Wintour, I'm putting it out there as a very unstylish man. Scary. She does not deserve respect. She deserves scorn.
I used to work in an ad agency where all the meeting rooms were named after like quote unquote inspiring people. Like there was one named after like Billy Bean, the like Moneyball guy, because he like looked at the game differently or something. And one of the boardrooms was named after Anna Wintour.
That's great. I bet.
So we would have meetings in Anna Wintour.
And is it true that in the Anna Wintour room they kept it extremely cold? Is that true?
I mean, all offices are actually cold, so yeah.
We go into the Anna Wintour room and it's freezing.
It's a
cold.
meat locker.
Yeah. It's a meat locker.
There's
Yeah.
just like chunks of ham dangling from a side of beef.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and then of course, The Devil Wears Prada, right?
Is that Anna Wintour?
Is it, or is it someone else? Who's that? Is that supposed to be someone else?
I don't know.
remember.
I don't know these
I don't know.
movies. What
Anyway.
the fuck is The Incredibles?
That's right. I've never seen it. I saw it when I was a kid.
Hmm.
I haven't seen it since.
Yeah, because we're not babies anymore.
No, we are adult men. who
Watching Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, while doing everlasting gobstoppers.
Which is your favorite Chocolate Factory movie?
Yeah, really, seriously, right? My God. This movie was expensive. It's the second most profitable Tim Burton film. I imagine the first has got to be Alice in Wonderland, right? Just because of like it being Disney and
What about
people just like
yeah?
watch that without thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that broke $1 billion.
It must have.
Didn't
Let's see. Who else do we have here in the cast?
Dr. Autism himself.
Yes. So who plays Charlie Bucket but Freddie Highmore, who was coming off an acclaimed performance with Joni Dripp in Finding Neverland, which is very Oscar bait type movie.
Oh, was he the boy in that?
Yeah. Oh, is he the boy in that?
Oh, is he the boy from About
Oh,
a
is he the
Boy?
boy from About a Boy?
Is he the boy from Dr. Autism?
Oi, are you the boy from About a Boy?
It is surgeon.
You there, boy. The boy from About a Boy.
Yes, you.
What day is it?
You can't have any pudding if you don't eat your meat.
Anyway, Freddie Highmore is now known. So okay, famous child actor when we were growing up, right? He's in Finding Neverland. He's Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, the titular Charlie, because of Joni Dripp, who suggested him, right? But nowadays, people may recognize him for a different role on The Good Doctor, formerly titled Dr. Autism, before they realized it was maybe a little too, maybe playing your hand a little too much, right?
Yeah.
And you know what's really funny about that? I'm sure we've talked about this in the show. If we have a certain guest, will be able to tell us. But did you know what that show was about?
No.
Until the meme started happening?
No.
But
think-
you were aware of the show.
I was
right?
aware of the show.
There was a billboard outside your apartment, wasn't there?
Something like
some
that.
point there
Like,
was.
yeah, I was just like, oh, this is like another, like medical soap.
Yeah,
like
we've definitely.
Grey's
I know
Anatomy,
we've talked about
ER.
this before. I apologize, but I'm just saying. Yeah,
But I think I saw a
or it's
commercial.
like Doogie Howser or something.
Yeah.
The Good Doctor is the bland title. I thought he was just a young doctor.
But I got served like a YouTube ad
Right.
that kind of, gave away the premise, and it was like, you know, and then the memes, of course,
Yes.
and then the world caught up.
Yes, which is so funny
Yeah.
that collectively because that show TV is so weird, right? That show has just been on for years, and
Popular.
Nobody spilled the beans. Everybody who watched that show,
Tight-lipped.
yeah, everyone who watched that show is either brain dead. And now you is just sitting on the couch, like clicking through, and they're like, "Put on The Good Doctor," click, and then it goes over, and they're like, "What's on next? Big Bang Theory," click.
They haven't
right?
even processed what they saw.
Yeah, exactly. And if you ask them any questions about it, they would say it was good, good doctor, good.
Either
Right?
that, or they knew what they had, but they didn't want to tell anyone because it was so funny that they didn't want like the world to catch on.
See, now there's a couple types of people. There's the brain deads. There's people who had it was their little secret, I'm sure, right? But all it takes is for one regular person to stumble upon, to walk by their old parents' living room, who are glued to the TV, right? Who haven't got up, Charlie Bucket style, haven't got up from the chair for years. And they just walk by, or like Sarah Palmer in Twin Peaks season 3, just watching TV and
Right.
chain smoking cigarettes for days, and they just walk by and they're like, "Hey, wait a minute, that guy's what show is this? The Good Doctor? Oh, it's just about that young doctor, right?" Oh no! Oh no! I'm a surgeon.
I am a surgeon! I am a surgeon! Dr. Hahn, I am a surgeon!
We'll drop that in, of course.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm glad he's doing well. I'm sure he's like rich as shit, right?
Yeah, he's got the
He's got the TV money.
the cable bag.
That's a huge bag.
Yeah, to get in this day and age.
Yeah, that's some serious money.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, good for him. And who else do we have? We
Anna
have
Sophia Robb.
Anna Sophia Robb.
Shout
Yes.
out to Anna from
Shout out to Anna Sophia Robb, who
Bridge to Terabithia with Josh Hutcherson, right?
That sounds right. I never saw that. That sounds right though. And I know she also got the TV bag job, not in the same way, but young Carrie Bradshaw. I think it's called Carrie Bradshaw Diaries or something. I don't know. But the like Sex and the City like prequel show, she plays Carrie Bradshaw on it. And so she's around. And is she Soul Surfer? We need to find this out. Is she Soul Surfer?
Is Anna Sophia Robb Soul Surfer?
Siri, is Anna Sophia Robb Soul Surfer? No, Siri, that's not what I asked. She is Soul Surfer. Can I tell you about Soul Surfer? This is I promise, when I'm on a plane, normally I would just watch a movie. I don't do this. Okay, so I'm on a plane, and it wasn't Air Canada, it wasn't WestJet, it was some like weird, it was some other company. Like not one of the main ones you'd fly on in Canada. And they had the screen for movies, and I was like, "Oh, okay, well that's nice. I wasn't expecting that." And I'm looking, but they have a really small selection, and it's like, "Oh, okay, weird." And they have Soul Surfer, and I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to watch this," but I wanted to see the part where she got her arm bit off by the shark. And so I put it on. I fast forward, because it starts like, "Hi, Mom, hi, Dad. Oh, what a lovely day in Australia. Like, life is great as a cool young Australian surfer. Like, nothing bad's ever going to happen to me." And I fast forwarded it. And it's, now I may have just had a dream of this, but I swear to God, she's lying on the surfboard, like, in the way that the sharks would want to eat you, like a seal. She's just like lying down on the board out in the ocean. And this CGI shark pops up so quickly, just like pops right up, grabs her arm, rips it off, pops right back down. I burst out laughing. It's so funny. So like, just go and watch the Soul Surfer part, because I remember when that actually happened and being like, wow, so cool. Like, I wish a shark would bite my arm off just for the attention.
Watch the whole movie. It's probably a good movie.
Yeah. I remember the poster is her standing with the surfboard, and there's a big shark bite out of it.
Is that real?
Yeah. That's the poster. Yeah. That's the poster for sure. Wait, hang on. It's right here. See, it's right here. She's got a big bite.
Oh my God. The big bite out of it. I never realized.
Yeah. Anyway, it bit her arm off. She's okay though. No worries. Yeah, so good for her. She survived being a child actress and now is a normal adult actress. We have also
Noah Taylor,
Helena Bonham Carter, of course, classic, as Mr. and Mrs. Bucket. Missy Pyle as Violet Beauregard's mom, Anna Sophia Rove's mom, who is an actress I love, and who is so good at just doing the funny faces, which is perfect for this movie.
She is in Galaxy Quest, which David Mamet believes is a perfect film.
Yes.
And I'm inclined to agree with him.
As you are inclined to agree with David Mamet about all sorts of things, political and otherwise, right? Is that correct?
He's never been wrong a day in his life.
Yeah. Christopher Lee, Dr. Wonka, great role, absolutely.
No, it's not.
One of his great roles. one of his classic roles.
Lord Summerisle, Wilbur Wonka.
Yeah, Dracula. Yeah, Frankenstein. Saruman. One of the great things with the Hammer horror movies is like they got to play everybody. Yeah. Like he got to play Frankenstein, Dracula. I'm pretty sure he played Jekyll and Hyde at one point. He got to play everybody. The Mummy, etc. Okay. Oh, and of course, in my opinion, the only one who's giving a really good layered performance in the film, Deep Roy as the Oompa Loompas.
And I disagree. I think it's not fun, and they don't really do anything interesting with Deep Roy. But I like Deep Roy. He was very funny on Eastbound and Down.
Oh, really? I didn't know he was on that.
Yeah, I think he shows up in season 2.
Oh, nice. I like him too. I think, well, it's kind of interesting that, like, in going back and if you take little things here and there from the original novel and you're like, let's be more faithful. They are a little bit more faithful to the Oompa Loompas, where they actually have this flashback scene where Wonka is like pith helmet up in the jungle, like British colonialist style,
trading cocoa beans,
like encountering an indigenous tribe of little people who live in the forest and worship cocoa beans, and he promises them all the cocoa beans in the world if they come work at his quote unquote work at his factory. Which was certainly an interesting choice. I mean, but this is just part of Tim Burton's thing. We could say. Oh yeah, you know who Deep Roy is in The Neverending Story. He plays one of the little guys in that as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A movie that I can't wait till we do those.
Atreyu.
It's devastating. Talk about movies that are fucked up for kids, right?
Yeah.
Devastating movie.
Things I didn't like about this movie.
Yeah, what else didn't you like?
I think this is again like part of the issue with just remakes at this time. So it's like the Oompa Loompas are singing a song, and in the Augustus Gloop song, they're like reassuring you that Augustus Gloop will come to no harm or something. And I felt like it was just like, I don't know, felt cheap and weird. And then everyone's commenting on how that performance was so rehearsed, as if the Oompa Loompas knew something bad was going to happen to these kids. Yeah. And they keep like harping on that, and it's like, but then how did they know like his name or something? And he's like, well, they improvised. And again, I think it was just this problem that movies from this time have of like over explaining things, having too much exposition or harping on something that's unnecessary, like
or or thinking like, okay, we are improving upon the other film, or if not thinking of it like that, like we are putting our own twist on the old film by adding in this element of
What about
intrigue
this?
or this. Yeah. And it's like, it adds nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. What else? I know there were some other sticking points, right?
It's just choices, on the whole, I think my issue with it is that I find it kind of charmless.
Yeah.
And it's a drag. It
a
feels
drag.
long. And you called the songs incessant in the original. I find them, so in this movie,
They're
the
much
only
worse.
songs are the Oompa Loompa songs, and they blow. Danny Elfman blew it.
Yeah. It's not great. Not his best work.
And you can't Danny Elfman performs the vocals, but he's like pitched and layered his vocals so many times to voice the different Oompa Loompas.
Yeah.
You can't really understand a lot of the lyrics, and nor do I really want to, because the melodies kind of suck.
Yeah, each song is a different style. Like there's there's like more of a funk one, and then there's
They do like a Beatles pastiche.
There's kind of that's exactly sort of thing, and they're all bad. They're unmemorable. The tunes are bad. I can't for the life of me think of one.
Yeah.
How they would go.
Willy Wonka.
Except that.
But
that
that's the opening.
That's the puppet. That's the thing they stole from Shrek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plagiarism has been in the news lately with that big YouTube guy.
I started watching it.
Oh, I'm gonna watch a 4-hour YouTube video.
Wait,
No.
was it 4 hours?
It's 4 hours long.
I started watching it, but I don't think I looked at the runtime.
It's 4 hours long. Yeah.
I don't know if that's the video I'm watching.
Plagiarism is bad.
Yes.
Plagiarism is bad, and you shouldn't steal from Shrek. If you come at the king, you best not miss. And they missed. They missed. Donkey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, what did I not like about it? I think Johnny Depp is giving I think Joni Dripp is giving a bad performance. I see what he was going for. I see how you could look at Gene Wilder's thing and you could say, okay, menace. Like, I have to be menacing. I have to be quirky, but
I have to do my own thing.
Yeah, and then when they add the backstory with his dad, they're like, okay, well, this is going to do some of the work in explaining why he is like this. And so they have little things like little triggers that he has where he can't say the word parents because he has this hang up about his dad, right? And he doesn't you can tell that he's been locked up away in a factory and doesn't have any proper socialization because he's terrified of like the children and their parents and so on. And so I can see what he's going for, right? But not only is it not charming, right? It's also not off-putting in the way that it should be. Like, if you're gonna go weird like this, I think it would be funnier if he just went a little further.
Yeah.
If he was really like Crispin,
Glover.
Crispin Glover.
Yeah.
If he was Crispin Glover. Yes. But he's not. He's Joni Dripp.
He is.
The poor
He will
man's
never be
Crispin
Crispin Glover.
The poor man's Crispin Glover.
You will never be Crispin Glover.
We have Crispin Glover at home, and then it's Joni Dripp,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Yeah. That's it. That's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Epic Movie figured it out.
Yeah.
They were like, who should we cast in this parody of the Tim Burton Charlie? They nailed it. They got Crispin Glover.
Yeah. Who would have would have completely nailed the actual role in the actual film
100%.
were he given the opportunity.
He should have been given the
because he
opportunity.
is genuinely a weird guy.
So weird.
And what is Joni Dripp? Joni Dripp is a
Nothing.
fake weird.
Yeah.
He's a shit. He's a shit heel. He's an abuser. He's a yucky.
He has a goatee and a dangly
He's some
earring.
fucking he's some dumbass.
He owns the Viper Room.
Yeah, he's a fucking Hollywood sicko.
Yeah,
We don't
Crispin
need him.
Glover is unhinged.
Crispin Glover
You've
is
seen his short
is
films.
genuinely a menace. Crispin Glover is a Batman villain, and maybe that's why Tim Burton was scared.
Yeah.
I don't know, because he's like, I've already done Batman villains. I don't need to do that again.
Well, Tim Burton's like, I have to be the weird guy on set, right?
Yeah,
like
that's
Tim
right.
Burton's probably weirder than Johnny Depp, so
Yeah.
he's like, I can handle. I'm not going to be outshone by this actor.
I'm not gonna bring on the
weirded.
king of Hollywood weirdos.
Yeah.
Instead of whatever the Joni Dripp, the garbage man.
Yes, totally.
Yeah, disgusting. Although I do think he's very good as Jack Sparrow. I do really, you know what I mean? Like,
Savvy.
yeah, I really think that is, kind of a perfect like moment, like marriage of like actor and role, and just this kind of perfect moment where it's like, Disney is gonna start kind of revamping live action and make they put a lot of effort into that movie. I think that's probably a pretty good movie, the first one, but we'll see.
I can't wait until we do them.
We'll do them
and
next
then
year. How about that?
We do the rankings, and you finally see things my way and put Dead Man's Chest above
Seems
Black Pearl.
unlikely.
It's very likely.
Well, I don't know. Who knows?
Wait till it's so much fun.
All right.
Anyway,
I don't know, man.
it's got Squidbeard playing a pipe organ.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. Captain Calamari.
Yeah.
That's his name.
Yeah, of course. What else? Is there anything else you want to talk about this?
Yeah.
It's just...
So we came out of Willy Wonka, and I was like, all the stuff before the Chocolate Factory that I found boring as a kid was my favorite part. It was so funny.
Yes,
Wonka
yes.
Mania, Golden Ticket Fever, all that stuff is done so unenthusiastically and kind of boringly in this film. Huge disappointment. Huge disappointment. Wasted opportunity. Because I guess they tried to save like all the funny stuff for, I don't know, the kids or in the factory, but none of it really. I don't know. There's no like big jokes that land super well to me.
That was the surprising part of the first movie, was that all that stuff that is less memorable as a kid because it's the preamble was actually the best part of the movie. In this, it's like not funny or interesting, and it's a drag, and it takes a long time to get to the Chocolate Factory. And then you're like, okay, well, finally, here we go. Like, there's going to be something. And then you get to the Chocolate Factory, and you're like, now I got to spend time with this fucking guy.
Yeah, and a total like a encapsulation of that is the boat ride scene.
Oh,
It
good
is
example.
just
Yeah.
so limp and lifeless, and there's no crazy psychedelia or something. I was watching and I was like, was this movie released in 3D? Because then maybe I could like see like, because again, if it looks like they're just on a ride,
Yeah.
and like maybe if you're on 3D, like you'd be like, oh wow, but I don't think it was, right? Like this is just before the 3D boom.
No, I don't think it was. Yeah.
So
I know. And I remember we were watching it and you were like, is this it? And it's like, yeah, this is it. There's no whimsy or wonder
Or menace.
or
Yeah.
anything. It's just, it's funny for a film that is like, from Tim Burton, that is supposed to be funny and supposed to be weird and supposed to be like fantastical, right? It's remarkably flat, like
Yeah.
not just visually flat, which unfortunately, and also very like smooth and kind of
Shiny.
post produced in a very like plasticky way.
Totally.
The whole tone is very flat. In a way that the original movie is not. The original movie is very alive and it leaves you with the feeling like you genuinely don't know what to expect next. That at any moment Wonka could murder a child in cold blood. And in this movie, there's just none of that.
He has like a hidden blade in his cane.
Yeah.
And just stands behind Veruca Salt and like cuts her neck open.
Yeah.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Anything's possible.
And in this, like, I don't know.
It's just
like,
limp.
And whatever. Okay, Augustus Gloop, he falls in the river, whatever. Who gives a shit? The little fat German boy is kind of funny. Okay, Anna Sophia Robb, young Carrie Bradshaw, young Sheldon.
She's good.
She's fine. And they turn her into the thing, and there's a dumb musical number, and it's just this CGI sheen of her rolling around, and it's like it like hurts your eyes to look at it in a way that when in the original movie when she does that, it's actually a really good effect. You're like, how did they do that?
And you pointed out that all these kids kind of, you're watching them and you're like, these kids are child actors. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you can see them like doing tons of audition tapes and like singing and dancing, trying to make it big in Hollywood.
It's very mannered performances. Like even like Freddie Highmore, has none of the charm of the original Charlie Bucket, because that kid actually felt like a real kid, and Freddie Highmore feels like Freddie Highmore, you
Yeah.
know, like the good doctor himself.
Yeah, yeah.
No, he doesn't quite feel like that, but it feels like a Finding Neverland sort of thing. It feels like a precocious child being
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I'll share my chocolate with my family," you know, and like all this junk. They
don't sell it.
It doesn't feel real.
No.
It doesn't feel like a real kid.
The kids in the 71 movie feel like the worst kids in the world.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like,
They feel like real kids who are really annoying and deserve what happens to them.
yeah. And you pointed out, like, the girl who plays Veruca in this movie, she looks the part. Like,
yeah,
she looks
very
great.
well cast. Yeah,
But she doesn't really get to, like, have a big old tantrum like the original,
No.
you know, and that girl, it was so good at being grating.
yeah, terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one terrifying, like visually, very, 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 like matches that kind of look. But yeah,
Doesn't match the energy.
No, and the interplay with her and her dad is there's
James
nothing.
Fox.
It's James Fox.
He's too
who's
stoic.
great, but
Yeah.
there's nothing there. There's you get who these kids are in the original one so well with very little, right? I mean, you know, to varying degrees. Like Veruca Salt is obviously more has more of a character than like Augustus Gloop, for example.
I think Augustus Gloop gets the most shortchanged out of all of them.
His
Like,
thing is that
just
he's
the
fat and then he's German and therefore disgusting.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Correct.
Yeah. But in this one, yeah, like the kind of dialogue between Roy Kinnear and the original Veruca Salt, like, is so funny, and in this one, it's so flat.
Yeah.
It's so dry.
And Mike TV drops the R word.
Oh, yeah.
Redact.
That's how we're clued into the kind of guy that Mike TV is.
We were watching it and I was like, did he just say that? And you were like, rewind it. And he did.
Yeah, he says the R word. What does he say again? I don't even remember. Oh, he says something like an R word could figure
A
that
redact
out.
could do
Yeah,
it.
or something like that. I don't know.
Could find a golden ticket, I'm guessing.
We here on the franchisees, we don't say the R word on the show. Now, if you listen to Come Town or something, I'm sure they've said it before.
Oh, yeah.
Us, we're above that. We're above that.
Yeah.
We're going to call it the R word,
I
which
s-
is just as funny.
I say redacted
You say redacted?
because it kind of almost sounds like it too.
Interesting. Yeah.
What are you, redacted?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You're tiptoeing awfully close to just saying the real word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which of course would leave you open to lashings in Trudeau's Canada,
Hey.
where our speech is controlled.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I wish that Trudeau guy would just. I mean, yeah, I know we're being like ironic and sarcastic right now, but I do wish he'd go away.
Well, your wish is going to be granted pretty soon because he's going to lose the next election to a cool guy, a hot new fresh chunk of meat on the scene, a cool guy, very relatable to all the young Zoomers, Pierre Poilievre.
Oh, I was like, who's
baby.
he gonna say?
Who's going to be our next prime minister?
Yeah, you think so?
Oh yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you're
I
probably
think
right.
the pendulum swings back,
Yeah,
baby. Wouldn't it be great if we lived in a country that had more than two parties?
So Justin Trudeau would have gone his whole, what feels like forever term,
Yeah,
never having like taken away the system, the first past the post system, which he promised to do originally when he was initially elected.
he sure promised a lot of things, didn't he?
Incredible.
Yeah.
Just incredible guy.
Listen, I never voted for him.
Me neither, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't have to vote strategically because this riding, which will not be named, is so liberal.
Yes, same. Yeah, actually, my new one. I don't know. Maybe I'm in a different one now. But no, I like one of the elections. It was like, it's Chrystia Freeland's seat. Well, fuck, she's not gonna lose. So I voted for the Communist Party, which I think was funny. Just was a fun, just for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we're fucked, and Donald Trump will win, and Pierre Poilievre will win, and it will be a glorious golden age for a certain type of loser guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
All right. Yeah. Like, I don't know. You want to say anything else about this?
No, I
movie?
don't know.
Yeah.
I want to go home. I'm tired. I hate this movie. It sucked. I am bored.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
All right.
It was a drag. It was a drag, Mom.
How many?
I don't want to go. I don't want to go to school today. I don't want to do the podcast, Mommy. I want to go to bed. Make me a sandwich. I don't want to go to school. That's what it was like.
How many digitally cloned Deep Roys out of 100 would you give this movie? Because there's a lot of Deep Roys in this movie.
And we press the add Deep Roy button here. Boop, boop, boop. And then we add some more Deep Roys over here. I did watch a special effects breakdown. That's what they do that a lot. There's the ones for like Lord of the Rings, obviously, where it's like, and we'll add 45 elves here, and we'll add 50 orcs right here, and it's just the way that they say it just makes it sound like they just press a button and the elves go here. And there's one for one of my favorite ones is for Brokeback Mountain. Okay. There's a movie you wouldn't think would have a lot of visual effects, but it has a lot. Like all the sheep are CG. Oh. So they're like, yeah, we added some sheep here, and we actually built a whole system to build sheep. And they'll show you the sheep walking and like all the the computer like going around, like the sheep spinning, like rotating sheep in your mind.
That's funny.
And it's like, yeah, and we'll take a look at this shot here, and we added the sky, obviously, and then we'll press add sheep, and then you press a button, and the sheep appear here. And then over here, and then Ang Lee said there aren't enough sheep, and that's okay. That's no problem for us because we could just add sheep here and add sheep over here.
It's just that simple.
It's that easy.
There's nothing to it.
Yeah, and so that's why I don't have much sympathy for these overworked VFX artists who are saying, oh, it's like it's slave labor. It's cruel. It's evil. Like Dickensian factory work hours,
Shut up and get me GTA 6 now.
Yeah, press the add GTA button. Yeah. You're pretty like add hookers button and add fucking other
vehicular
awful,
homicide.
terrible things. Yeah.
They released the trailer a couple of days ago, and then it was like coming in 2025. I was like, wait a
sorry,
second,
buddy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, that's whatever.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Andrew Tate on this, as I do on many things. That nobody under the age of 21 should play those games because you can shoot cops, and that's really sick.
That's kind of, I didn't know you could do.
You've never shot a cop in GTA.
I try to I obey traffic rules when I play GTA.
You go 50 miles per hour.
Yeah, and I stop at stop lights. I do the whole shebang.
Maybe I'll go on a rampage when I go home. I remember playing GTA 3 in university, and one of my roommates I was just walking around shooting people, and my roommate was like, "That's a kind of fucked up," and I was like, counterpoint. No, it's not.
What a square. Must have been religious.
I have a detailed argument against that.
How about no? All right.
Anyway.
How many Deep Roys?
Out
of 100.
20.
20.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd give it either like 15 or
15 to 20.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty bad. I actually think it's bad. I'm going to give it 20 though.
Yeah. Like I couldn't give it less because I think, look, if you had no Chocolate Factory story, this one is that story. I do like the story, but it was just told way better in the 70s. But if you don't have, if you have Charlie and the Chocolate Factory at home, it'll be this movie.
Yep. Yeah. Or Wonka coming up next week,
which no way could be worse than this.
Yes, I'm full. We save the rankings for the end, but sight unseen, I can tell you that number one is Willy Wonka.
Now,
yeah. We're calling our shot.
Yeah.
Number one, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, 1971. Yeah. Number two, Wonka, 2023. Number three, this garbage.
I almost wish there were more movies in the franchise so I could put this one even lower. You know
agree.
what I mean? I wish.
Well, let's add some then.
Okay. Epic movie.
Okay,
the scene
number
from
3,
Epic Movie.
The scene from Epic Movie. Yeah. You're right. Look, that's now part of the official ranking.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 4, the discography of Michael Jackson. Which I like, but less than the scene from Epic Movie. What's your favorite Michael Jackson song?
My favorite Michael Jackson song?
Yeah, and then you also have to say why you think he did nothing wrong.
Okay.
No, you don't have to say the last part. What's your favorite Michael Jackson song?
It's a big one. It's not like a deep cut or anything.
Yeah.
But I really like Beat It. I think I always liked Beat It a lot.
I bet you do. I know you like to beat it. You fucking sicko. Sorry. When I come in here, when I come to
it
Alex's
just
apartment every day,
smells so strongly
he's
of cum.
clearly just beaten it.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Hey, oh yeah, sorry. And it's like he knows I'm coming up.
Yeah.
He presses the entry thing, right?
It's kind of like Saltburn.
It's a bit of
kind
a
fucked up.
yeah. It's a bit of a kick you get out of it, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, beat it.
I'm like
Interesting.
Jacob Elordi.
You are.
They call him the Australian Alex from
Yeah, they
Franchisees.
sure do. Yeah.
Beat It because I like that guitar solo from Eddie Van Halen. I think
Yeah.
just the guitar work on that song is just quite fun.
Sure. Ask me what mine is.
Yeah, your turn. What is your favorite Michael Jackson song, and why did he not do anything?
I don't listen to Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
know why?
You entrapped me.
Because of what he
son a-
did.
You fucking got me.
After I learned what he did, I cut it out. I cut him out. I don't have a copy of Thriller at home. Like I said, no,
Yeah.
because I'm principled.
Yeah. Shit. Well.
Alex, you have to understand, your media consumption, right,
Yeah.
is a reflection of your moral character.
Oh
The
no.
things that you watch.
I'm screwed.
Well, this is what it's about. It's high time we have this discussion on the Joni Dripp episode, of course. Your diet, you are what you eat. Okay,
Yeah,
you would
yeah,
agree,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So when you eat chicken fingies and you watch, Lolita vibrator torture or whatever,
Where'd you get that?
it's a Pingu movie. I own it on DVD.
Pengu?
Pinku.
Pengu.
Yeah, it's a Pingu movie.
What's Pinku?
Like Japanese sex films. Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, this one is more on the. This is more on the torture. This is more on the guinea pig side of things.
Oh, I know
what
guinea
mean?
pig. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do that franchise.
Oh baby, yeah.
Flower
Flowers
of
of flesh
Flesh
and
and
blood.
Blood.
Yeah, sounds nice. I like flowers.
I like flesh and
I
blood.
like flesh and blood. No, you have to understand. When you watch these sick and twisted, provocative and morally wayward films like Saltburn, right? You lose a part of your soul.
Yeah.
And I think our listeners would agree, when you watch one of these films by a bad man, a bad director, or
Emerald Fennell.
trash, or Emerald Fennell, of course, yeah, Woody Allen, Emerald Fennell, Road Blansky, Emerald Fennell, you basically, what you're doing is you're signing off on what happens in the movie.
Yeah.
And okay, we're going to stop the bit now just to say that it's really interesting online. And I'm not on TikTok, obviously, but when you're on Twitter, you see TikTok filtered, and people are like, look what these fucking crazy people are saying on there. You see with younger generations, but also people our age and older people, but especially with younger generations, where they're approaching a work of art like a film, and they're approaching like the characters' morals and what the characters do and say, as though this is what the director is saying, right? This depiction endorsement thing, but it's beyond that. It's beyond that, where they're like, well, and they'll talk about fictional characters like, I can't believe this character did this to this person,
Right.
And if you like this movie, you're actually
You condone
you're
that.
condoning off. You're signing off condoning these actions.
If you like
which is
Revenge
so-
of the Sith, you condone killing younglings.
yeah, exactly.
You condone
I mean,
infanticide.
exactly.
Slippery slope we're on, Ben.
You are my brother. Yeah, exactly. A slippery slope right into the volcano. Yeah.
Right into Mustafar's lava pit.
Yes. I'm actually going on a vacation to Mustafar next year,
I hear
2024.
it's beautiful in that time, in that year.
February.
That, yes.
I like to, it's like a snow bunny thing or whatever they call it, like the Canadian, what do they call that?
Snowbirds.
Snowbirds. Yeah, it's too cold
Snow
here.
bunny is something different, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe. Hey, you want one of these pills? You want one of these Gobstopper pills I got? Anyway, we're going to be back
Yeah.
next week.
Wonka.
Hopefully we can see Wonka in
The
time.
King, Paul King.
Paul King of Paddington 1, 2, and
Mighty Boosh.
one of the racist Matt Lucas shows. Who's in
Alice in Wonderland?
who is in
Tweedledee.
Wonka as well.
What was the racist? It wasn't Little Britain, was it?
No, it's one other one he did with him and the other guy,
From Little
David
Britain?
Williams.
David Williams?
Yeah. It's like Fly Me Away or something. It's about an airline, but where they play all sorts of different.
I see where this is going.
Yep, and yeah. It's just kind of crazy that like, I remember the first time I saw Little Britain, I was like, oh, this is really nasty, you know, like, but I think I tried to trick myself into thinking it was funny, but it's really not. It's really annoying. I don't know. Whatever.
I'm afraid to like go back and watch Little Britain because, well, I don't know. I think the first time you watch Little Britain, like I found it funny, and then a few episodes later, I was like, oh, every episode is literally the same jokes over and over again.
Over and over.
So I don't know.
Anyway. If you like the same jokes over and over again, like, listen, subscribe.
Follow us on X.
Re-X every post.
Ben just went viral.
I just went viral. Like, here, let me read you my viral tweet. I just went viral for me, which is 10 likes. No. Here it is, baby. The final count as of 3 p.m. Saturday, December 9th. 25 retweets, 1 quote tweet, which was not making fun of me, which is always good. 388 likes. We're going to get it to 400.
Oh, it's only a matter of time.
Just got a tweet, or just got a text from a certain JS fellow, a certain not to be named fellow. Hello, my king. 7:30, my king. Every week. I think something that he maybe is not aware of is that this is harassment. It's harassment. I've expressed my dissatisfaction.
Yeah.
It's harassment. Anyway, just something, in case you're listening, just know that it's harassment and that I will charge you with it and you will go to jail. What did I say? Oh, yeah, Maestro, you have to stop. You smoke too tough. You conduct too different. Your bitch and variety of gay lovers are too bad. They'll kill you, Maestro. Anyway, if you like that tweet that blew up in the room, then follow us on X, Fart and Fink.
I'm not on X.
You're not on X, but you can follow the franchisees on X.
Yes.
The greatest website in the world.
And tell your lonely friend about us.
Yeah.
He'll love it.
We love you. Goodbye.
Mwah.
Joni Dripp. Wir verbrennen unser Geld, wir sind mal verrückt. Das ist alles, was